Hello everyone, I hope you all are good. So in this video, we are going to discuss some important question from AIET 4 NEET paper. Okay, so let's get started with the very first question. I hope you all must have attended the test. So let's walk through some questions that I felt like you might be having doubt in. Okay, so let's start with the very first question that I have picked, and this is question number 5 of your paper. What is the question here? Sorry, excuse me. The pulley shown in the diagram is frictionless. Okay, pulley is frictionless. Now, what is the meaning of pulley being frictionless? ठीक है, देखो छोटी छोटी चीजों को समझना बहुत जरूरी होता है. If pulley is frictionless, it means tension in its two strings, like two strings that is hanging from its sides, like this one. Tension in these two strings will be what? Same. It won't be different, right? So tension on the both side of the pulley is going to be same if pulley is frictionless. Okay, that you must have studied in rotation. Now, what is happening? A cat of mass 1 kg moves up on the massless string so as to just lift a block of mass 2 kg. Done. So this cat is moving up the string and it wants to pick this mass 2 kg up, right? After some time, cat stops moving with respect to the string. ठीक है, देखो स्टेटमेंट को बहुत ही ध्यान से पढ़ो. Cat moves up the massless string so as to just lift a block. If you're just lifting the block, what is the meaning of this? If you're just able to lift the block from ground, so if some block is kept on the ground, what will be its FPD, that is free body diagram, gravitational force downward, and normal reaction force in the upward direction. And if you're trying to lift it up, suppose with the help of a string you are lifting up, so you will apply tension in the upward direction. So if you are able to just lift it up, means at that point of time, it will lose contact with the surface and normal reaction will become 0. So just lifting up means normal reaction at that instant will be 0 and T will be equal to mg. So when the cat is just lifting the mass, it means tension in this string will be equal to mass of this weight of this 2 kg, and that is 20 Newton. And as we have seen here that pulley is frictionless, tension on both sides will be equal. So this is it. This is 20 Newton. Here also it will be what? It will be 20, right? So 20 Newton. Now what will be the acceleration of this cat? So on cat का अगर आप FBD लिखोगे at the moment when it is just lifting the block, tension in the upward direction, tension always acts away from the body, and weight, like gravitational force, I must say, that will be 10 Newton because mass of the cat is 1 kg. Now, what will be the acceleration? Acceleration of cat at the point when it is just lifting the mass will be 20 minus 10 by mass. So that is your 10 meter per second square. That is equal to g, right, in magnitude. Over. Now, second case is what? After some time, means after just lifting process had just gone through some period of time, what happens? Cat stops moving with respect to the string. Then the magnitude of change in cat's acceleration. Ab dekho, just it has lifted or some significant amount of time has passed since then. Now what will happen if this is the pulley and cat has stopped moving with respect to a string, yani ki cat will be raised with respect to a string, and this 2 kg mass will be in air because it has been already lifted up from the ground, right? So in this case, what is going to happen? Since this cat is not moving with respect to a string, whatever distance this 2 kg will go down, same distance this cat will go up, right? Because it's not moving with respect to the string. Now what will be the acceleration? So agar aap up free body diagram likhoge, let's tension at this point of time be t, here t. So if it is going up with acceleration a dash and it will go down with acceleration a dash, let's write the equation for finding out a. Agar simply, even if you are writing equation, what answers you will get? अगर मैं इजिली यहाँ पे लिखूं तो होगा 2 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 into g. So you should know shortcuts, right? So g by 3. New acceleration will be g by 3, initial was g. So what will be the difference in acceleration? G minus g by 3, that is 2g by 3. So this will be answer. From where I got this formula? Simple है, यहाँ पे आप equation लिखोगे, it is going up. So t minus 1g will be equal to 1a, and it is going down. So 2g minus t will be equal to 2a. If you're going to add these two, you will get what? 2 minus 1g divided by 3. So this is how we calculate it. Answer will be what? 2z by 3. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay. So what is the next question here in the figure? ME equal to 2 kg, MB equal to 4 kg. For what minimum value of A starts slipping over? So what should be the minimum value of F such that A will simply just start slipping over? So for just starting slipping over, what should be the condition? Suppose there is a block on the ground, ठीक है, and we are applying it friction force, कुछ भी y ले लो, sorry, external force y ले लो. So when it will just start slipping over, when y will become equal to static friction getting provided, right? So this is the condition of just slipping over a surface, right? So here A is slipping over B, over the surface of B, and surface of B is friction containing, right? So it will apply friction force on it. And if external force acting on A is equal to the static friction force acting between the surface A and B, then it will just slip over. Now the question is, what is the external friction force? Sorry, what is the external force acting on A? Because here directly force is not acting on A, right? Force is acting on B. But you just see here what will happen when F will apply, when a force will get applied to B, and suppose B starts accelerating. So if B starts accelerating, done, then A will be on a accelerating frame. A will be then kept on an accelerating frame. And you know that if something is kept on an accelerating frame, and if we are standing on that frame and trying to write the equation, we will apply on it what? Pseudo force, right? So because of acceleration of B, pseudo force will act on A, and this pseudo force direction क्या होता है? Opposite to the direction of acceleration होता है. So ma into A. This will be the pseudo force. And if this value of pseudo force, if value of this pseudo force is less than that of static friction, what will happen? A and B will move together. But if this value of pseudo force is equal to or greater than what? That of static friction, there will be relative motion between A and B. And here the case is what? Just slipping over. Means this pseudo force value will be equal to what? It will be equal to static friction acting between A and B. ठीक है? This is this. Now we need to solve it. अब आप देखो यहाँ पे ध्यान से B का FBD अब आप लिखो. So B का FBD कैसे लिखोगे? इधर आपने force लगा दिया F. So this is force F. Now B is kept on this surface. This surface is also applying friction force because here this surface is not smooth, right? So friction force का value क्या आता है? Mu into N. So what will be the normal reaction getting acted on the surface because of B? Or what will be the normal force acting on B? क्या होगा? So if you see carefully, अगर आप यहाँ पे B को बनाते हो, so acceleration, sorry, gravitational force in downward direction, NVG, one normal force will act on B because of this. And another, if you see here, A will apply force here in this direction, right? And similarly, this B will apply a force on it in this direction. Okay? So what is going to be the friction force acting between B and the body? So let's calculate the normal reaction acting on B, that is N1 value we need to calculate. And here reaction force of this normal reaction, let's call it N2. So it will be N2 acting on B. So this is your N2. Now if we balance forces acting on B in the vertical direction, because B is not moving in vertical direction, right? So if we are going to calculate it, what we are going to get, just see here. In downward direction, it is MB, mBg plus n2 equal to n1. So value of n1 will be what? mBg plus n2 equal to n1. Now what will be the value of n2? So if we are going to draw the free body diagram of body A, so body A is also not moving in vertical direction, right? So in the downward direction, it is MAG, and in the upward direction, it is N2. So if it is in raised in vertical direction, N2 must be equal to MAG. तो चलो N1 का value calculate करते हैं. Mass of B is how much? It is 4 kg. So this is 40 plus, and mass of A is 2 kg. So that is 20. Now this is 16. So N1 is 16. Done. So friction force acting on body B because of this surface will be equal to mu N1, and that is 0.4 into 60. Now what else force will act on B in the horizontal direction? Now you just see between A and B, friction force is acting. Done. Between A and B. So B will apply, जैसे देखो friction force किधर लगता है? In the direction of intent, in the direction opposite to intending motion. So because of pseudo force, A has tendency to move in this direction. So friction force on A will act in this direction, FAB, and reaction of this friction force will act on B in this direction. So if AB will act in this direction and its magnitude will be mu N2, mu is 0.2. So 0.2 into N2, and N2 value is how much? That is equal to 20 Newton. So, and if acceleration is A, suppose, so F minus 0.2 into 20 कितना होगा? 4 minus 24 will be equal to how much? Mass of B into acceleration, and mass of B is how much? 4. So this is 4A. Okay. So this is 4A, and another equation was where? Another equation we have written like for just sleeping. पहले चलो इसको लिख लेते हैं. F equal to how much? That is equal to 28 plus 4A. This is suppose our first equation. Okay. Now let's write the second equation. For just sleeping over, amount of pseudo force should be equal to FAP. Done. So pseudo force value, FAB value is how much? That is our 4 Newton. So mass of A, that is 2, into acceleration, that is pseudo force, should be equal to 4 Newton. So acceleration is equal to 2 Newton. If we are going to put the value of acceleration equal to 2 Newton, we will get how much? We will get value as how much? This will become 8. 28 plus 8 will be 36. So correct answer will be what? B. This is how we solve this question. Okay. Chalo, I am going in detail so that to make you understand concept properly, so that you can solve whatever question comes from this portion ahead, right? Now, what is the question? There is a ball, and this ball is released from the top of a tower. The ratio of work done by force of gravity in first second, second second, and third second. सबसे पहले देखो, there is a ball and it is being thrown downward. ठीक है? It is being thrown in the downward direction. Sorry, it is being dropped. So when you drop something, initial velocity happens to be what? 0. So it is being dropped with 0 speed. Done. So distance covered in first second will be how much? In first second, distance covered will be ut plus half gt square. U is 0. So ut plus क्या लिखोगे? Half gt square. And since u is 0, this will become how much? Half g into 1 ka square. Now distance covered in 2 seconds. Not second I'm talking about. Distance covered in 2 seconds. So distance covered in 2 seconds कितना हो जाएगा? Half g into 2 ka square. And if we have to calculate distance covered in, suppose 1 second में इतना हुआ, in 2 seconds it is this, in 3 seconds it is this. So this will become half g 3 ka square. Now suppose what we have to do. Now, in the question, what is said? Work done by gravity in first second, second second, and third second. So work done by gravity in first second means mg s1, okay, and mg s1, right? So work done by gravity in first second is this, and if you are going to calculate its value, it will become mg into half g ka 1 ka square. Now distance covered in second. So in second distance covered is this much, And how we will get this distance? We just need to write S2 minus S1. So this will become equal to mg into half g, 2 का square minus 1 का square. That is 4 minus 1. That is your what? 3. ठीक है. Now distance covered in, ये second की बात किया मैंने, third second. So distance covered in third second is this one. And this distance we can calculate how? If we minus S3, if we subtract S3 from, sorry, S2 from S3. So let's write that half g, 3 ka square minus 2 ka square, 9 minus 4, that is 5. So what will be their ratio, work done ratio? 1:3:5. So correct answer will be this. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now let's solve this question. What is the question? Block A is hanging from a vertical spring and is at rest. Okay, this is at rest. So initial kinetic energy of the block spring system is what? 0. And there will be potential energy. Why? Because suppose there is a spring and this is in natural length. ऐसे hang है. Okay, now what we are doing? We need to hang it. Okay. We need to hang it from the spring. Suppose we are hanging a mass M from the spring. What will happen? If we are hanging it, because of its weight, mass will stretch a spring by certain distance. And suppose it is stretching a spring, and here it is again coming at rest. So if here it is coming at rest, it means mg will be equal to kx. Okay? So mg equal to kx, and x will be equal to how much? Mg by k. X will be equal to how much? Mg by k. So if a spring mass system is here, it means first thing, this spring is not in natural length. It is extended already by distance mg by k. Okay? And second, its kinetic energy is 0. It has only potential energy that is stored in the spring. Done. If we are considering this height as datum line, that is h equal to 0. So no gravitational potential energy, only electrostatic potential energy, no kinetic energy. Now what is happening? Then the value v for which a spring, what is happening? Block B strikes the block A with velocity v and sticks to it. So both the blocks have same mass. Now what is happening? यहाँ पे एक spring था. This mass is attached, m mass, and there is another mass m. It is going up with velocity v. It is colliding with m, and again it is stick to it, and whatever is happening after that, that we need to see. Okay. So first let's see when it is moving up, its momentum, initial momentum. System इसको मान लो 2 mass system ले लो. So initial momentum of bottom mass is mv in the upward direction. Upward mass is 0 because its velocity is 0. Now, initial momentum of system क्या लिखोगे? mv. So final momentum of system क्या होगा? Finally suppose कर लो ये दोनों मिल गए साथ में और they start moving together with velocity v dash suppose. So together their mass will be 2m v dash. So since momentum during this collision, there is no external force as such acting. So what we will see that their momentum will be conserved and 2mv dash will be equal to mv. You will say that gravitational force is acting, but that gravitational force equally acting on both of these masses. ठीक है? So that won't affect. अब यहाँ पे आप देखो v dash का वैल्यू क्या हो गया? v/2. So this after collision, this will become, this spring will become like what? Just after collision, this spring, this mass system will become like this, and it will start going up with velocity v/2. So this is the case. Now, value of v for which a spring just attains natural length. Now, if a spring is attaining natural length, it means this mass is going up and up. And what is happening at that point of time? Suppose यहाँ पे आया, and if it is able to attain just natural length and not further it is getting compressed, it means what? जैसे देखो ये मास ऊपर जा रहा है, क्यों जा रहा है ऊपर? Because it has some velocity, and the moment it will reach at its natural length, it must be happening कि it is losing all its velocity. That is why it is not able to go further up. and from that point it will again come down under the effect of gravity. ठीक है? So what we can see कि at natural, when it will attain natural length, velocity of the system will become zero. ठीक है? Done. So it started from here and here the velocity is becoming zero. चलो इसको मैंने datum line दिया, h equal to 0. So we have to calculate the value of v. What we should do, let's conserve energy. So initially, क्योंकि during this process no non-conservative force is acting, and if no non-conservative force is acting, we can conserve mechanical energy as these 2 points. तो यहाँ पे mechanical energy क्या होगा बताओ? यहाँ पे at this point it has kinetic energy half into 2m into v square by 4. It also has a potential potential energy stored in the spring, and that is equal to half k. X का वैल्यू कितना था? mg by k. So m square g square by k. Okay, and at this point, what will be the energy at this point? At this point, gravitational potential energy 0 because h we are taking as 0. At this point, what is happening? Spring is at its natural length, so no spring energy. Then velocity is also 0, so no kinetic energy. Only energy will be the gravitational potential energy. So it is going up by a height of mg by k. So gravitational potential energy 2m mass into g into mg by k. So this is how much? m square g square 2m square g square by k. अब यहाँ पे देखो, इसको कट कर दो ऐसे. दिस इज एम वी स्क्वायर बाई 4 एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू हाउ मच? दिस इज योर एम स्क्वायर जी स्क्वायर बाई के को कॉमन ले लो. ठीक है, हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर, ये के स्क्वायर था. ठीक है, अगर कॉमन लोगे तो क्या मिलेगा यहाँ? 2 माइनस हाफ. सो दिस विल बिकम 3 बाई 2. ठीक है, दिस इज बिकमिंग हाउ मच? 3 बाई 2. तो इसको यहाँ पे लिख लो 3 बाई 2 m स्क्वायर जी स्क्वायर बाई के. अगर अब आप सॉल्व करोगे, व्हाट वैल्यूज यू आर गोइंग टू गेट? देखो यहाँ से एक m कैंसिल होगा. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज 2 टाइम्स जाएगा और मल्टीप्लाई करोगे 6 हो जाएगा. सो 6 जी स्क्वायर m 6 mg square by k will be the velocity root of. So correct answer should be what? Correct answer should be B. ठीक. Chalo, now let's move ahead. What is the question here? 7 particles are placed at the 7 corners of a cube of side A. The mass of each particle is m. The center of mass of the system. System का center of mass क्या हो? ठीक है. So on each 7 corner, mass m is k. अगर imagine करो, just to make the solution more easy, suppose there is a mass kept here at the origin also, but in the question there is no mass kept on the origin. Then, so let me assume there is a plus m mass kept on the origin and also minus m mass kept on the origin. There is no concept of negative mass as far as we have studied. So just for the solution I am taking it, because plus m mass plus minus m mass will become 0 mass. Okay? So at origin no mass is kept, that is why I am assuming it is made up of plus m and minus m. ठीक है, तो चलो यहाँ रखते हैं. अगर प्लस m मास को यहाँ पे कंसीडर करूं मैं, इनमें से एक मास को अभी मैं पिक कर रही हूँ, देन वी विल सी दैट कि 8 masses are kept at each 8 masses are there and each one is kept at the corner. And if equal masses are kept at the corner of a cube, what will happen? तो उसका सेंटर ऑफ मास कहाँ होगा? ज्योमेट्रिकल सेंटर पे, क्योंकि all the masses are equidistant from the center, right? And all masses are same magnitude, so definitely its center of mass will be at center. So center of mass of 8 m masses will be where? At the center. Center का ज्योमेट्री क्या लिखोगे? उसका पोजीशन वेक्टर क्या लिखोगे? So एक cm of 8 masses क्या होगा? a by 2 i क्या प्लस a by 2 j क्या प्लस a by 2 k क्या. यही होगा ना सेंटर का. इस पॉइंट का पोजीशन वेक्टर विल बी दिस, राइट? दिस इज ओरिजिन, इट इज गोइंग टू बी दिस. ठीक है, क्योंकि ये एक्स एक्सिस से a by 2 डिस्टेंस पे है, and from y axis it is at a by 2 distance and from also z axis it is at a by 2. distance. So x cm of 8 masses is this. And now let's see, अगर मैं ये कहूँ कि my 7m mass is made of two systems, one 8m system and another -m system. ठीक है, अगर इन दोनों को मिक्स करेंगे 7m मिल जाएगा, और इन दोनों का अगर सेंटर ऑफ मास निकाल ले तो मुझे 7m मास का सेंटर ऑफ मास मिल जाएगा. सो नाउ लेट्स डू दैट. So these 8m masses has center of mass here at the center of cube, and this -m has center of mass here at the origin. So center of mass of these two system will be where? अगर x cm आप निकालोगे तो क्या लिखोगे? अब देखो सिंपल है, x cm तो mass of one system -m into 0 plus m into a by 2 divided by क्या लिखोगे? 8m minus m. So it will become how much? ma by 2 into 7m. So it will become how much? It will become a by something, a by 14 we are going to get, right? अब यहाँ पे ध्यान से पहले करो, not 14, 7 into 2. So a by 7 we are going to get here. Now let's see. Sorry, we did one mistake here. Mass of another system is not m, it is 8m. ठीक है? So this will become 4, right? And this is wrong, this is wrong. If you're going to solve it, this will become how much? 4ma by 7m. So this will become 4a by 7. So xcm is 4a by 7. Similarly, if you calculate ycm, again 4a by 7. Zcm 4a by 7. So answer will be what? C. ठीक, चलो. So this is another question. Now let's first read the question carefully. The velocity of liquid coming out of a small hole of a large vessel containing two different liquids of densities 2 rho and rho as shown in the figure is. So what will be the density? What will be the velocity of liquid coming out from here? How we will solve this question? So we can solve it by using Bernoulli's theorem. What is its expression? Bernoulli's theorem is written as pressure head plus gravitational head plus kinetic head. And this is constant, right? For any points we take. Now to solve this question, we need to take 2 points, then only we will reach to a certain answer. So which 2 points we must take? We need to calculate velocity here. So 1 point is this. Another point will be which one? Another point we should choose very carefully. We should take that point where most of these variables are known. Okay? So if I take top point, at top point pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Height, if we consider this as the datum line, that is the reference line. So here I'm taking h equal to 0. So here this will become 0. And at the top of tank, water will be in rest. So velocity will be 0. Now let's write. Okay? So at top point I'm writing, this is second point, P naught plus rho GH plus half rho V square should be equal to, at this point pressure, this is open to atmosphere. So open to atmosphere means pressure will be equal to atmospheric pressure. And here rho GH we have to write. So H we will measure from here and it is in downward direction. So with proper sign convention, H will be taken as negative. So also here two different liquids are there. One has a density rho, another 2 rho. So first write rho GH for this column, then for this column. Okay? So क्या लिखोगे आप? Minus rho into G into 2H, and then it will become minus 2 rho into GH. ठीक है? Plus half rho V1 square, rho V1 square. ठीक है? Rho यहाँ पे क्या लिखोगे? 2 rho, because here the density of water is 2 rho. So here 2. Now let's solve it. If you're going to solve it, what answer we are going to get? P naught will get cancelled. Here H is equal to 0. Also V is equal to 0. So 4 rho GH will be equal to rho V square. ठीक है? यहाँ देखो rho will get cancelled and velocity will become equal to 2 root under GH. So correct answer will be this. Now let's move on to next question. So what is the next question? A body is executing simple harmonic motion at a displacement x. Its potential energy is E1. Okay. So potential energy in simple harmonic motion is written as what? Half kx square. है ना? Done. So half kx square. At a displacement x, its potential energy is even. So for displacement x, potential energy we can write as this, even. And at a displacement y, its potential energy is E2. So for displacement y, potential energy क्या लिखेंगे? Half ky square. And in question, this is even equal to E2. Potential energy is E at displacement x plus y. So for displacement x plus y, potential energy will be what? Half k x plus y का square, and this is equal to E. चलो अब इसको solve कर, ठीक है? We just need to see the relation. अब यहाँ पे आप देखो half kx square. एक काम करो, ब्रेक करो, एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर प्लस 2xy it will become is equal to E. Now let's write it carefully. Half kx square plus half ky square plus half 2 will get cancelled and it will become kxy equal to E. अब आप देखो half kx square is even, half ky square is E2. So this will become E1, this will become E2 plus kxy. Now how we will calculate xy? That's the question. तो यहाँ पे आप ध्यान से देखो. If I'm going to multiply these two, so it will become 1/4 k square x square y square is equal to E1 E2. ठीक है? Now kxy will be equal to what? 4 E1 E2 का root under. ठीक है? And its value will be equal to how much? Kxy is equal to this. So here this is equal to kxy and that is equal to 2 root under E1 root under E2 and this is equal to E. अगर आप इस एक्सप्रेशन को ध्यान से देखो तो E1 क्या है? E1 है रूट E1 का स्क्वायर. E2 क्या है? रूट E2 का स्क्वायर. So basically this whole expression is what? This whole expression is equal to root E1 plus root E2 का whole square. And this is equal to how much? E. So root E1 plus root E2 will be equal to how much? Root E. So the correct answer will be what? B. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. And what will be the next question? Next question is there on your screen now. So let's read the question carefully. What is the question? There is a block of ice with mass m and that falls into a lake. After impact, a mass of ice m/5 melts. Both the block of ice and the lake have an average temperature of 0 degree centigrade. Yani ki there is a lake, suppose, and there is a block of ice of mass m and its temperature is also 0 degree. Here also temperature is 0 degree. Now what is happening? If L represents the latent heat of fusion, the distance the ice falls before striking the surface. What is happening? After impact, the mass m/5 is melting. So from here it is falling down. And here the ball of ice is reaching. Here also temperature is 0. Here also temperature is 0. So no temperature difference. It means no energy will flow because of temperature. Because temperature is not changing. So energy transfer is not happening because of temperature. Because there is no difference, right? But what will happen when it will come down? Suppose Carlo, this is the datum line for calculating potential energy. So initially potential energy of ice is how much? mgh. And when it will fall down, its potential energy will become 0. So it is losing energy, potential energy, mgh. And this energy it can transfer to melt a part of its ice, part of its components or whatever you say. So there was a mass of ice, m mass, and its m/5 part is melting. Kitna part melt hua? m/5 part is melting. It must get some energy, right? So how much energy will it receive? It will receive mg because this is the only source of energy that will give it energy, right? So now how much should be the value of mgh if m/5 portion of ice is melting? It means what? It means m/5 into L. If ice is melting, if m mass of ice is melting, it requires ml amount of it. If m/5 part of mass of ice is melting, it requires this much of heat. So this must be equal to mgh. So m will get cancelled, and what will be the value of h? H value will be L by 5G. So correct answer will be what? It will be L by 5G. So correct answer is A. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Now what is the question? Two monoatomic ideal gases at temperature T1. Suppose Karlo, this is one monoatomic ideal gas at temperature T1. Another gas is at temperature T2. Okay? There is no loss of these two are getting mixed. Okay, we are mixing it, and during mixing, no amount of energy is getting lost. If number of their moles are N1 and N2, number of their moles are N1 and N2. The temperature of the mixture will be. What will be the temperature of mixture? Suppose we are mixing it in this container, right? So here total number of moles in the mixture will be this, and its temperature is supposed T. This mixing is happening in such a way that there is no loss of energy. It means internal energy change of first gas, what we will write? N1CV delta T for first gas, okay? Plus, this is the change in internal energy of first gas. And second, N2CV delta T. And if there is no loss of energy, means change in internal energy, sum of change of internal energy of these two gases should be equal to what? 0. ठीक है? तो चलो अब देखते हैं कैसे आंसर आएगा. This is the logic, right? Now we simply need to solve it. Nothing else now we need to do. So CV is same for both gases because they are monoatomic. Cut it. Now N1. So T minus T1 plus N2. T minus T2 equal to 0. So if you write here N1T minus N1T1 plus N2T minus N2T2. How much value we are going to get? N1 plus N2T will be equal to how much? N1T1 plus N2T2. So what will be the value of temperature? N1T1 plus N2T2 divided by N1 plus N2. So correct answer should be what? It should be D. I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to another question. There is a point charge Q and that is placed inside a conducting spherical cell of radius 2r and outer radius 3r. Okay, so there is this sphere and its inner radius is how much? This is equal to 2r and this is equal to 3r. Now what is happening? What is happening? There is a point charge Q placed inside a conducting spherical cell of inner radius 2r, outer radius 3r at a distance r from the center of cell. So where is this small charge Q placed? A small charge Q is placed at this point. Okay. So this is placed at this point. Now what is the question? The electric potential at the center of cell will be. Okay, this is the question. What will be the electric potential at the center of cell? So you already know that when we keep a charge inside a cavity, if there is a cavity, we are placing a charge inside. What happens? This is conducting region, right? Given in the question. So if there is a charge, positive charge inside cavity, it will attract negative charge equal to itself on this surface. And same amount of negative charge will go on to the upper surface. This is what we have studied, right? So similar thing is going to happen here. Here negative charge will get accumulated, not inside I'm telling, this is on the surface, on the inner surface of first sphere. And same amount of positive charge will go on the outer surface of bigger sphere. So here also plus Q charge, here also minus Q charge. Now, what will be the potential at the center? So, potential at the center, because of this charge will be how much? KQ by 3R. Because of this negative charge will be how much? Minus KQ by 2R. And because of this Q charge at this point will be how much? Plus KQ by R. So, let's make the denominator same. So, 6 here multiply 3 into 3. And this is 2, this is 2. So how much value? 6 plus 2 minus 3, that is 5 kq by 6r. This should be the potential value. So this is equal to how much? 5q by 6r. So correct answer should be what? C. Now let's move on to the next question. Let's see. So let's see. Yeah, this is the next question. Two wires of same dimensions, but resistivity rho 1 and rho 2 are connected in series. Okay. Equivalent resistivity of the combination. Suppose there are two registers like this. This is R1, this is R2. If you are connecting them in series, R1 plus R2 will be equal to Req. Done. And they are of same dimension. So if I write R1, this will be equal to rho 1 L by A plus rho 2 L by A. Now what will be the R equivalent? Suppose this is first and this is second. So for equivalent, length will become what? 12. Area of cross section will remain the same. So R equivalent, if I write, so rho equivalent 2L by A. So A will get cancelled, L will get cancelled. Rho 1 plus rho 2 is equal to 2 rho equivalent. So rho equivalent will be equal to rho 1 plus rho 2 by 2. So what should be the correct answer? B. Okay. Now let's move on to another question. And there is an electron and that is projected with velocity v0 in a uniform electric field E perpendicular to the field. So what is happening? There is a charged particle, electron, and that is moving in this direction. Electric field is present in this direction. Now what will happen? Suppose, Carlo, our electron is just here. And at this point, its velocity is here and it will experience electric force in this direction. So for this small time at which electric field is getting switched on, at this time we can see electric force is in this direction, velocity is in this direction, angle between these two is 90 degree. So there is tendency of this force to help it move in a circle, right? Because if something is moving in a circle, what happens? Velocity and force used to share an angle of 90 degree if it is uniform circular, right? So same scene is appearing here. So here radius of curvature we can calculate like what? F will be equal to mv square by r. So QE equal to mv naught ka square by r, and r will be equal to how much? Mv naught square by q. So this is first thing. Now this is r1. Okay. Now what is happening? If r1 is initial radius of curvature just after entering in the electric field, and r2 is initial radius of curvature just after entering in magnetic field. Okay. Again, it's projected with velocity. Again, see clearly the question. Again, it is projected with velocity v0 perpendicular to uniform magnetic. So when it is entering magnetic field, again its velocity is v0 only, right? That is given in the question. So if a charged particle is moving in a magnetic field with velocity v0, its radius will be equal to what? mb by qb. So this is the radius 2. R1 by R2 will be what? So R1 by R2 of nikalo. mv0 square by qe into mv0 into qb. Okay? What answer we are going to get? We are going to get bv naught square by e. So correct answer will be what? Correct answer should be bv naught. No. There is one v naught also here. So 8 v naught will get cancelled. So it will be bv naught by e. So correct answer will be D. Okay. Chalo. Now let's look at another question. This is very interesting. Let's see. There is a square loop of side A and that is placed in the same plane as a long straight wire carrying a current. So there is a long straight wire carrying current I. There is a rectangular or a square loop. These two are in the same plane. First thing. Okay. Iska side is given, its side is A. Okay. And it's also given that the center of loop is at a distance. Center of loop is at a distance R. And this R is far, far greater than A. The loop is moved away from the wire with constant velocity. Induced EMF will be what? कैसे solve कर सकते हैं? देखो, this question is not that difficult. We just need to have confidence. So यहाँ पे आप देखो, this is this. It is given that R is far, far greater than A. So if R is far, far greater than A, just see what may happen. Suppose I have to calculate magnetic field because of this wire at the center of the square loop. So what will be its value there? So its value will be mu naught I by 2 R. That is the formula, right? So 2r. Now, since r is far greater than a, we can say that if center is at distance r, this point, this length is also at distance r, because this is 2a, and 2a will be very smaller than r. So we can assume that whatever magnetic field is at the center, same magnitude of magnetic field will be throughout. That we can say. So magnetic field inside it, if it is at distance r, will be how much? Mu naught I by 2r. Now what will be the flux? Flux will be, uh, flux is what? B into A, B dot A, sorry, B dot A. And here magnetic field, current is going in an upward direction. Magnetic field in this side is in inward direction. And also its area vector, since this is in this plane, area vector will be perpendicular to the plane. So angle between magnetic field and area vector is what? 0 degree. So this is BA. Area is A square into A. That is mu naught I by 2r. Now this is the, this is what? This is our flux. Now loop is moved away from the wire with a constant velocity v, the induced EMF in the loop. So initially flux through loop is this. Now if it starts moving like this, so if it starts moving, what will happen? R will change and R will keep on changing. So suppose Karlo at any time t, this value of R is X. So R will get replaced by X. So magnetic flux at any time t will be written as mu naught I A square by 2x. What will be flux? EMF induced, that is d phi by dt. With minus sign, that talks about the direction. But let's calculate the magnitude. तो क्या लिखोगे आप? D of mu naught I A square by 2x. Now, whatever is constant, take that out of the integration sign. So, mu naught I A square by 2 dx minus 1 by dt. ठीक है? So differentiation of this will become what? Minus 1 by x square into v, क्योंकि this is dx minus 1 by dx, इसको ऐसे लिख सकते हैं ना? This will get cancelled, it will remain the same. So this is minus 1 by x square into velocity. So v by x square. ठीक है? So if we say the loop, if at certain point, अब देखो यहाँ पे क्या है, वैल्यू क्या आएगा? म्यू नॉट आई ए स्क्वायर बाई 2 into 1 by how much? 1 by x square v. So mu naught I a square v, mu naught, आंसर क्या आ रहा है? Mu naught I a square v by 2x square. Now if x is given as r at any time t, then it will become 2r. ठीक है? So what should be the answer? आंसर क्या होना चाहिए? सॉरी, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का वैल्यू मैंने यहाँ पे गलत लिखा है, यहाँ पे 2 पाई होगा. ठीक है? म्यू नॉट आई बाई 2 पाई आर. म्यू नॉट आई बाई 2 आर वो मैंने सर्कल के सेंटर का लिख दिया, सॉरी. सो दिस इज 2 पाई आर. तो हर जगह तुम लोग क्या करो, यहाँ पे बॉटम में पाई इंक्लूड करो. ठीक है? ये मैंने गलती किया. Done. So this will become this. So mu naught I a square v by 2 pi a square. तो क्या होगा? आंसर कौन सा होगा? Mu naught I a square v 2 pi r. If x we are taking as equal to r at any time t. ठीक है? So this will be your answer. So I just calculated flux by taking separation of wire with the center as x, and then we differentiated. We got answer in terms of x, and if that separation is equal to r, answer will be obtained by putting x equal to r. So that is the answer. Now again, this was also a question from motional EMF. क्या है? The magnetic field in a region is given by B equal to क्या दिया हुआ है? B naught x by a. A square loop of side D is placed and its edges along the x and y axis. The loop is moved with a constant velocity. This the EMF induced in the loop. देखो, in previous question I solved by taking by calculating area and all, and now I'm going to solve it with a concept that I have taught you in the class. One more concept, वो भी मैंने पढ़ाया, but I'm going to discuss it by taking or by using another concept. तो वो हमारा मोशनल EMF का concept था for straight wire. Done. So I have told you, if this is a square loop and it is moving like this, and if it is kept in a मैग्नेटिक फील्ड। तो मैंने एक क्वेश्चन डिस्कस किया था क्लास में, यू ऑल मस्ट बी रिमेम्बरिंग दैट क्वेश्चन कि इफ दिस मैग्नेटिक फील्ड वैल्यू इज बी, it is moving with velocity v, if you remember, then what will be the emf induced in this? So if you look at it plainly, अगर आप देखो तो क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, मैग्नेटिक फील्ड कांस्टेंट है, area is constant, so flux is what? B dot A, PA cos theta. B is constant, A is constant, theta is also not changing. So induced EMF will be zero, right? ऐसा लग रहा है ना? और ऐसा ही है. This is true. But we have studied one thing also, if there is a rod moving in a magnetic field, there is a rod moving in a magnetic field like this, EMF will get induced in it if rod is kept in a plane perpendicular to the magnetic field, right? And its EMF induced value is BVL, where V is perpendicular to the length. Okay? This we have studied. So this square is also made of 4 such rods. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So in concept I have discussed, EMF induced in 3 and 4 will be 0 for the reasons I've explained it several times. So I'm not going to do. But in 1 and 2, EMF will get induced. And induced EMF, suppose कर लो, यहाँ पे ये ऐसे है, तो induced EMF का बैटरी कैसा दिखेगा? If you find it out. So I have discussed in the class how to calculate the direction. For that, you need to simply see the direction of force acting. So Q, V cross V. Now velocity is in I cap direction. Magnetic field is in which direction? It is along minus K cap. ठीक है? अब आप देखो I cross minus K cap क्या होता है? I J K, I cross K क्या होता है? Minus J. I cross minus K cap क्या होगा? Minus J. Sorry, minus I cross K is how much? Minus J. So this is how much? I cross minus K. ठीक है? So I cross minus K will be equal to what? J. ठीक है? क्योंकि I cross K क्या है? Minus J है ना? I cross minus K क्या होगा? Minus J. Sorry, J. तो यहाँ पे देखो, J means positive charge inside this rod will feel force in the upward direction. So EMF, if EMF is getting induced, positive charge will be in upward sense and negative charge in down. So EMF will get induced like this. And in this rod also, EMF will get induced in same sense. So if magnetic field is same throughout, then here also EMF induced is BVL, and here also EMF induced is BVL. And overall EMF of the loop will be what? 0. Because this will try to send current in this sense and this in this sense. So overall it will become 0. Okay? But in this question, magnetic field is not same at both ends. Magnetic field is different. Okay? Question क्या दिया हुआ है? The magnetic field in region is given by this. A square loop of side D is placed with its edges along the x and y axis. Loop is moved with a constant velocity this. The EMF induced in the loop is. Suppose कर लो ये loop move करके यहाँ पहुंच गई, ठीक है? So it is at distance x suppose, and then this will be at distance how much? This distance will become x plus b. So EMF induced in the first loop, in the first arm. इस arm में EMF induced कितना होगा? b. b का वैल्यू क्या लोगे? b नॉट x by a, क्योंकि यहाँ मैग्नेटिक फील्ड ये होगा, दिस इज एट डिस्टेंस x, into v into L is how much? D. ठीक है? Now at this end EMF induced will be how much? B naught, x का वैल्यू, डिस्टेंस कितने डिस्टेंस पे है ये? x plus b divided by a into v into d. And these two EMFs are getting induced like this. ठीक है? If their values are different, we will minus them and then calculate equivalent EMF getting induced. तो कितना होगा equivalent EMF getting induced? अब आप बताओ. So it will be equal to b naught v d by a को common ले लो, x plus d minus x. So this is equal to b naught d square v. So that is equal to b naught d square v naught by a. b naught d square by a. So correct answer should be. This is how we can also solve such kind of question. ठीक है? Chalo, now let's do this question. There is an assembly of identical spring mass system and that is placed on a smooth horizontal surface as shown. Okay? Initially springs are relaxed. So this is the equilibrium position. X equal to 0. no spring is stretched, right? Left mass is displaced towards left, while the right mass is displaced towards right. Suppose कर लो, we displaced it by distance x naught in both the direction. ठीक है? Resulting collision is elastic. Time period of the oscillation of system. अब आप ध्यान से देखो what is happening. There is a spring. I'm just drawing the one mass. So if it is getting uh, compressed by distance x naught, what will happen? It will come inward by distance x naught. Again, it will go like this and it will try to reach here. And whatever is happening with left mass, same thing will happen in the right mass. It will also go in this direction, come back here. And when they will come back, what will happen? They will collide. And since their masses are equal, collision is elastic. They will exchange their momentum during the collision. क्योंकि हमने पढ़ा है, if collision is happening between two equal masses, then what happens? After collision, they simply exchange their velocity. ठीक है? So, at the time of collision, what will happen? At the time of collision, this left body will have velocity in this direction, and this right body will have velocity in this direction just before collision. So after collision, they will exchange their velocity. यानी कि after collision, this will start moving in this direction, and this will start moving in this. यानी कि what will happen? We are displacing it. X naught distance, it will go inward. It will come here. Then at equilibrium position, and if there is no mass like this, another mass like this, what will happen? It will go further here by distance x naught and then come back. This is the actual oscillation that happens. But since there is another mass here, they will collide. And during collision, its velocity before collision was in this direction, after collision was in this direction. So what will happen? This mass will, instead of going further towards this direction, it will start moving in this direction. यानी कि oscillation कैसे होगा? Oscillation will be like कि initially it is it is moving towards this direction. It moves in this direction by distance x naught. So it will come here. Again, it will go here, equilibrium position. Then, and from here again, it will return. Done. So it's not, its oscillation will be like this, from extreme to equilibrium, and again from equilibrium to extreme. There is no another extreme, right? Only one extreme. Done. So time period will become what? If this string is free to move, there is no other masses, its time period will be how much? 2 pi m by k. But since there is another mass, and that mass is obstructing it in such a way that it is only attaining one extreme position, then its time period will become half of that. So answer should be pi m by k. Just needed to look at the question, nothing else. Chalo. Now this is another question. There are two particles, A and B, and they are moving with constant velocity, V1 and V2. ठीक है? अब चलो दो पार्टिकल को ले लो. A है और दूसरा पार्टिकल क्या है? B. Their initial position vectors are what? The particle A is at coordinate 0, 0. A is at coordinate 0, 0. And B is at minus 4. So I can't draw B like this. B is at what? Minus 4, 0. ठीक है? Both like A की velocity क्या है? A, this is B. A velocity is in this direction, right? In this direction. How much? 1 meter per second. And B has a velocity in this direction. How much? 2 meter per second. This is the case, right? Now, angular velocity of B with respect to A at t equal to 2 से. सबसे पहले तो ये देखो कि angular velocity हम निकालते कैसे हैं? If velocities of 2 points are given. ठीक है? कैसे निकालेंगे? Suppose कर लो कि suppose disk का ही example ले लो. Suppose this disk is rotating. So if this disk is rotating, let's take 2 points on the disk. So मैंने एक point ये लिया, एक point ये लिया. So this point, every point on the disk will have same angular velocity, that we know. Angular velocity will not change with point, right? Every point will have same angular velocity. But every point will have different linear velocity, and that linear velocity will be in this direction for the time being. है ना? तो यहाँ पे होगा, अब आप देखो ये लीनियर वेलोसिटी की वैल्यू कितनी है. So V will be equal to how much? Omega R. This is the relation. So first point is at distance, suppose x1. Second point is at distance x2. So first point will have linear velocity how much? This point will have linear velocity omega x1, and second point will have linear velocity how much? Omega x2. ठीक है. If we have to suppose this is given as v1 and this is given as v2. So if now just think in the opposite way. Opposite way में सोचने का मतलब क्या है? Now think like you are given velocities of these 2 points. Omega is not given. Velocities are given as v1 and v2. ठीक है. So how you will calculate omega? So you will calculate omega by v2 minus v1 by r. Sorry, v2 by v1 by x2 minus x1. How we are getting that? इसको जस्टिफाई कर सकते हो. v2 का वैल्यू क्या लिखोगे? ओमेगा x2. और v1 का वैल्यू क्या लिखोगे? ओमेगा x1 by x2 minus x1. देखो ये ओमेगा के बराबर होगा ना. Then so if velocities of 2 points are given, velocities of 2 points are given and their separation is given, we can easily calculate omega. ठीक है, we can easily calculate omega. Now let's come back to the question. अब यहाँ पे 2 सेकंड पे निकालना है. You have to calculate angular velocity at 2 seconds. So at 2 seconds, let's write their position. So at 2 seconds, what will be their position? In 2 seconds, A will move upward by 2 meters. So it is here at x0 and y 2 meters. And B will move towards this direction with 2 meters per second. So in 2 seconds, it will move by 4 meters. So here its velocity will be how much? Sorry, here body B in 2 seconds will reach at the origin. So B is here. Now let's write here. A is here, B is here, and velocity of B is in this direction, 2 meters per second. Velocity of A is in this direction, 1 meter per second. Their separation is how much? 2 meters. We have to calculate omega. How we will do that? Now you can see here velocity is in different directions. Here velocity was in same direction. Done. So which velocity to take? अब ध्यान से देखो, यहाँ पे फिर से इसको देखो. If you can see it carefully, यहाँ पे मैंने 2 पॉइंट लिया था ऐसे और इन दोनों पॉइंट को ज्वाइन किया था ऐसे. So this is x2 minus x1. And velocity was perpendicular to this line joining. था ना perpendicular? And then I did v2 minus v1 by x2 minus x1. So velocity, which velocity you will take? The component of velocity that is perpendicular to the separation. So velocity of B perpendicular to the separation is 2 meters per second. Velocity of A perpendicular to the separation is nothing. It is only in this direction. So it is 0. So omega will become equal to 2 minus 0 by 2. And that is 1 radian per second. So this is going to be the answer. Now, most probably, this is the last question. Okay, let's do it now. So, in a cylindrical piston arrangement, air is under a pressure P1. ठीक है? So, there is a piston, there is air. ठीक है? यहाँ पे कुछ piston होगा, अंदर air है, and air pressure inside is how much? P1, and a soap bubble of radius R. There is also a soap bubble inside of radius R. Soap bubble has the surface tension T. This soap bubble has how much surface tension? T. The radius of soap bubble is to be reduced to half. ठीक है? Find the pressure P2 to which air should be compressed isothermically. So what we are now going to do, we are going to compress the bubble such that its radius will become half. So for that, we need to bring the piston down. P2 will change, P1 will change. Done. So now, first, let's see what is the relation of, जैसे there is a bubble and its surface tension is T. Pressure outside suppose is P1 या P0 ले लो. So, and pressure inside the bubble will be something, Pi. So, what is the relation of P0, Pi and T and the radius of the bubble? That we need to see here. So, let's see what is that relation first. So, so that relation will be how much? That is your Pi minus P0 equal to 4T by R. So initially, if we write PI, initial inside pressure, will be how much? So PI equal to P naught plus 4T by R. Okay. So let's now write what is before, what is this relation before compression and what is this relation after compression. And then we need to simply solve it. Okay. So what will be that? Let's write now. Initially, before compression, if I write, so before compression, pressure inside will be how much? P1 plus 4T by R. Okay. After compression, if I write, P internal will be equal to how much? P2 plus 4T, 4T by R by 2. That is 8T by R. Done. And now it is said that all this process is happening isotherm. Okay? It means temperature will remain constant. So initially, if inside bubble we talk about PV equal to nRT if we apply, so temperature T will remain constant. Yani ki PV will remain constant. So initially, PI VI will be equal to P final V final. Okay? Inside the bubble I'm talking about. So if you're going to write it now, what we will do? Initially, pressure is P1 plus 4T by R. And what is its volume? Volume is 4 by 3 pi R cube. What is the final pressure? Final pressure is your P2 plus 8T by R. And what is the final volume? 4 by 3 pi R cube by 8. Because that is R by 2. If you're going to write it and solve it, what you will get? This will get cancelled. This whole, here we will get 1 by 8, and this is P1 plus 4T by R. So P1 plus 4T by R will be equal to how much? 1 by 8 था, so 8 times इधर ले जाओ. P2 plus 8T by R. If you're going to solve it, this will be 8P1 plus what we need to calculate, just see, we need to calculate P2. ठीक है, तो चलो. P2 value will be how much? So P2 will be equal to 8P1 plus plus 64 T by R minus 8T by R, and that is equal to P2. So if you are going to see it, what will be the answer? Let's write it here. I hope we have not done any mistake. Let's see. Let's recheck. Okay. So I feel like here only we did mistake, right? 8 into 4 not will be 64. It will be 32. Okay. So let's write here properly. There should not be mistake. Otherwise we will get wrong answer 32. Okay. This is P2. So P2 is equal to how much? 8P1 plus 32 minus 8 will be equal to how much? 24T by R. So 8P1 plus 24T by R. And that is where, yes, so C will be the correct answer. So I hope till now you are not having any doubt in the questions that I discussed. But if you feel like I left some question that you were having doubt in, you can send me those questions by contacting our team, whoever is in contact with you people. So send them questions. They will send it to me. I will send you the solution. Okay. Bye bye. Take care and all the best for your coming test.